Yep, it's us. We're back. Let's not make too big a thing of it. We're just here in these darkest and coldest of times to make your lives just a little bit less shit.
That's true. I mean, let's face it, a lot less shit. Don't worry, guys.
So
you know, you can't afford to put the heating on, but sit round a warm episode of Plum Chutney.
How have you been, James? How are things?
Good. Yeah, the health coach from the doctor rang me today, and she told me, I have nothing else to teach you. You know how to be healthy.
Oh, look at you go. Can you give us the secrets, please?
No, well, now it's all up to me, and there's no one ringing me asking if I've gained weight. So you know, it's anyone's bet now. But I'm sure I'll be fine. But other than that, I'm just grand. How about you?
Well, it's so funny you say that. I've been thinking recently I should start exercising. Right, and I'll tell you for why. Is because we have a scuba diving course booked in early February, and one of the prerequisites is that you have to be able to swim 200 meters. And I can swim, but all I remember about 200 meters is when you did swimming lessons as a kid, and one of the big long lengths, which was crazy daunting back then, is 25 meters. So using some quick maths, that is 8.
200 meters is bigger.
8 of them. 8.
Wow.
I know, literally,
that's a bit too much maths for me, man.
I'll be honest, it's been. This is not a joke. This is absolutely serious. It has been stressing me the fuck out, because what if I get there and they're like, oh, just before we start this course in front of everyone, we just need you all to swim 200 meters.
200 meters, please.
Yeah, and then what if I try to do it and I've had the takeaway the night before,
and you drown in the middle of it. But they say you must swim 200 meters. Is there
I don't know. Well, when I called up to book it, they didn't mention it, but on the official Paddy, which is the scuba diving license people website, it says
his name Paddy.
Yeah, well, PADI, but I like your version more. Yeah, he was Irish in the Irish Sea and all that.
Do you want to get in the sea? That was bad Irish.
No, I really like that. That was phenomenal.
Thank you. Very racist. Liked it. You're welcome.
Yeah, what if I just can't do it? And I'm gonna have to come. So I thought maybe if I exercise now, 2 weeks beforehand, I can get my lung capacity up or whatever. And is that how it works? I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure lung capacity is what you're looking for unless you've got to do it underwater.
No, but I mean,
but it is a scuba diving course, so fuck this. But does it say you've got to swim 200 meters in 10 minutes or without stopping in the middle? Do you know what I mean?
This is my only saving grace, is that it doesn't say that I can't do it backstroke. Do you know what I mean? So I could just turn over halfway through and be like, this is how I do things.
I've been backstroking since 2001.
Yeah, backstroke seems like the little kid. Do they have an Olympic event for backstroke? Is there a 900 meter backstroke? Because I feel like I'd be pretty good at that.
I'm sure there's freestyle, but I'm not sure anyone would pick backstroke.
That's so true.
I mean, it looks like people are talking. The backstroke is the competitive swimming stroke that's swum on the back. Wow. Apparently, yes, people use it in competition.
That's mental. In freestyle competition or in specific backstroke competition?
I'm not sure. I think I need to know more about swimming to possibly comment. I haven't really known much about competitive swimming. I've never really been too into the sport.
Since the days I was a competitive swimmer. I love that.
I'm a fan of the pencil dive myself. That's my favourite move.
I love that. I mean, I fucking hated swimming and everything about it. It was just the worst time of my life ever. Oh, God.
It took me years to learn to swim, as a kid, so long.
And it was so pointless because, you could just, my mum just said, you can stop when you can swim this far. I can't remember how far it was. It was probably a fucking width.
200 meters.
Do you know what I mean? And all of that. And then, I don't think I swam for, years after that. And if I fell, and she was always like, oh, but it's if you don't drown, but if I drown, I'm gonna have all my clothes on, I'm gonna that's not gonna prepare me for so
there should be more realistic drowning lessons in the pool, shouldn't there? There should be you have to drive your car into the pool and escape the car whilst the water's coming in and shit.
Yeah, literally. So bit of a waste of money there, Mum. Hope you're happy. Fucking hell.
Fucking bitch.
But
well, maybe not, because now you've got your scuba lessons.
That's
you know,
so true. Yeah. Oh, that's so true. That was what she was training me for all this time. Yeah, literally, I'm just gonna have to think back to those lessons. I'll bring my my towel, which has the 200-meter badge, stitched onto it for the scuba diving course. And I'll be like, actually, I think you're fine. They don't give these to just anyone, honey.
I don't think I need to swim because actually it says right here I already did that. So.
Let me just dry off for a second, with my towel that has 200-meter badge on it. Ooh, and then
I'm sure like the 200-meter thing is just something they've said to be like, no plebs. Do you know what I mean?
You also
no one
who's
be, like from my 600-pound life, like I want to scuba dive. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean?
You also have to be able to tread water for 10 minutes as well. You have to be able to tread water for 10 minutes.
Tread water for 10 minutes is so easy, especially in
I've never been good at I don't know if it's in sea or not, but I've never been able to float. Like, it was only like we went to Croatia like last year, and that was the first time I've ever floated in the sea, and that's the only thing I remember from Croatia is that it was the first time I ever floated.
The sea's very easy to float in because salt water makes you very buoyant.
Man of the sea knows how easy
but
it is to float.
It's a little bit more harder to tread water in the pool, but not really. You just kick your legs. It's not hard.
Yeah, I know, but I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
Yeah, I think you're getting can't do with can't be asked mixed up. Because I think you can do it, but you might be like, whew, at the end of it.
Look at you believing in me. Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm gonna, like a few weeks from now, we're gonna be in this very position. Me going, and I'm never leaving the house again. I'm too embarrassed. I couldn't swim 200.
Just meters. The next Plum Chutney is a young man from Liverpool has drowned in. He was trying to do a 200-meter.
I love that. It's just Amy Sands' face on the news, just like, oh, he was worried about this. I told him not to. I told him to practice before. Yeah, Amy Sands has actually been very good about my anxieties around it. She's been like, do you want to go for a swim beforehand? And I was like, no, because the same thing. Like, what if I drown when I'm doing that? Do you know what I mean? Literally. But
I feel like your thought of what if I drown, if that's the problem here, if you could dismiss that.
Well, that's literally what I said. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. My thought is, what if I drown? That's the problem I've been telling you about. So,
I'm going to give you the piece of advice that everyone needs to hear.
Just
don't worry about it. Do you know what I mean? Just chill out. Just you try taking a chill pill.
That's so true. No, I'm actually, I tried to get them on prescription, but they said I had to pay for them.
Fucking wankers. They don't give them out easy, those chill pills.
Literally, as somebody with a serious sleeping disorder, chill pills would be fucking phenomenal right now.
Where's my fucking chill pills? So let's talk about this. When was the last time you slept 6 hours?
So, I thought we could play our game again today. We could just call it HSAC, which is Hollywood stars and celebrities. There we go. And we'll go from there. HSAC. So it's time for another exciting game of HSAC. And this is where we do a deep dive and on a famous person's music taste, and then we rip it apart like vultures. But at first, we turn it into a game. So I'm going to drip feed some music facts about this person to you, and you're going to try and guess. And I don't think you're going to get it, but it'll be fun watching you guess. And I can't wait. Just to give you a head start, because you know what, you weren't terrible last week, but this one's a bit harder. This person is an actor, okay?
Oh, an actor.
That's your clue. So they are actually a Hollywood star and celebrity. They are at HSAC.
Tom Cruise is an actor.
Oh my God, you've seen a movie. Very good.
That's right.
Well, it's not Tom Cruise, but I do want to know what Tom Cruise listens to. So, okay. So this person in particular, I'll be honest, as somebody who is very picky and I will call somebody out on their shit music taste. It's actually my favorite thing to do, is to call somebody out on their shit music taste.
Is it? I didn't know that.
I know, literally, you don't know me very well, and
I guess that's why we've got the podcast segment
to learn a bit more about each other. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's my favorite thing to do, and I very, very rarely say, "Oh, when a person has a good music taste," because it doesn't happen very often. That's why I always say I don't take music recommendations from people, because I know their music taste is worse than mine. Do you know what I mean? So there's no point.
You never taken a music recommendation?
No, I've taken anyone. No, obviously.
Actually, as one of your closest friends, that sounds about right. Yeah.
No, I have taken music recommendations, but like they've been like begrudgingly, you know, like
yeah, like you'll go, this is fine, but you like won't allow yourself to enjoy it because
yeah, and I have to every time Amy Sands tells me to listen to something. That's my girlfriend for the 3 people who listen to this. Every time Amy Sands tells me to listen to something, I have to do that, you know, otherwise I'm in the bad books and like, you know, I won't get talked to for a few hours. So I have to be like, oh, yeah, this oh, this is a song.
This is very good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure that you sell that very convincingly.
Yeah, well.
Like I'm sure Amy Sands buys that. Like
absolutely, she buys what I'm selling. But with all of that said, this person has what I would describe as a good music taste.
Oh my!
So, like obviously, music taste is subjective, but to me, a good music taste is like an open-minded music taste. You know, somebody who's
profound.
Open to a bit of everything, listens to a bit of everything, and this person has an extremely vast and varied music taste. To a point that it's been difficult to narrow down, but I've included like the most famous and kind of comedy ones. So,
can I just ask, is it Joe Biden?
Is Joe Biden an actor? Wow.
Well, was in that episode of Parks and Rec.
Oh my God, you're absolutely right.
Technically, yes, I think he is.
You've broken the game.
And he's the president.
That's so true. He's the ultimate Hollywood star and celebrity. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what Joe Biden listens to, but like I feel like it must be shit because it would have to balance out with how good Barack Obama's taste is. So he's defo into like fucking, I don't know, like Jimmy Rogers. I quite like Jimmy Rogers though, I don't know.
It's just got to be like severely outdated, hasn't it?
Like,
and I'm talking
like Hank Williams or you know like that kind of old country shit. Or he'll drop like one person who he thinks is current, but it's from like the 90s, and he's like, "Hey, are Nirvana still doing anything?" Yeah, like that'll be Joe Biden.
No, Joe, they're famously not still doing anything. Oh, Joe.
And then we'd all go back to pretending that the free world was in safe and secure hands. But okay, anyway.
So he's got a good music taste and he's an actor.
Yes, that's your first 2 clues.
Okay.
No, you're not allowed to guess yet, though. Okay.
Okay, I'm not allowed to guess yet. Okay, I'll guess.
Okay, so if there was to be like a group that this person is most like closely associated with, that they're most famously a fan of, it is Death Grips. Ooh. So, first of all, if any of the listeners haven't listened to Death Grips... First of all,
I have seen footage.
Nice. That's a Death Grips joke. Very good.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Boots.
Beats.
Okay, yeah. If any of the listeners have not listened to Death Grips, first of all, what are you doing? Second of all, pause this right now, go listen to Death Grips, and then this will all be a lot funnier. Okay?
If you don't want to do that, what I would say Death Grips is kind of like if Slipknot meets hip hop, but it's somehow good. That's what I'd call it.
Yeah, if if Slipknot made hip hop, but it was also like kind of arty and like more
edgy
and more
says a lot about society
and more punky than metal as well.
Yes, it's very punky. But like, it's that kind of energy. You know, it's very
a kind of punk energy, but a hip hop and like then kind of an avant-garde production. Like it's I think that's Death Grips there.
Calm down.
Yeah. Apparently when you go to their gigs, they don't stop at all. Like there's no gaps between songs. Like apparently you will die if you step into one of the pits. Like sounds great, yeah.
Sounds great.
But yeah,
finally.
So with that said, peel the onion.
It's got more onion inside.
Paint me a word picture of what your average Death Grips listener looks or is like.
Average Death Grips listener, well, he's got a mighty neck beard. It's mightier than mine.
Wow, and that is a mighty neck beard. Mine's also quite
I know.
I actually have a shaver though now that has the settings on it that says like 9, 10, 11, and then you go like
9, 10, 11.
You go like that. You go and then so that's why I've never.
That's a lot of settings. Mine goes up to like 3.
Well, okay. Well, mine's obviously better, so whatever.
Obviously, fucking is.
But anyway, neck beard. Yeah, does
neck beard. I'm thinking, maybe some piercings, some like eyebrow piercings or something.
Definitely, absolutely a fan of Anthony Fantano, 100%.
Oh yes, give me some tattoo sleeves.
Yeah,
and bad face tattoos and bright hair colors, probably dotted around, but like stupid like pink Mohicans and shit like that. That's what I'm thinking.
I can see it. I know that person. Yeah. Literally. And the fact that they the fact that they listen to Death Grips is their personality as well. That's something very important. Yeah. But this guy is such a famous fan.
That's every single person who likes Death Grips.
Literally. No, absolutely. There's only one, and it's that person. Yeah.
It's that person.
They just copy and pasted after that.
That's why the gigs are so fucking crazy. That guy's just a dick.
I love it. Yeah, it's just MC Red again and again and again. But this person.
Swag.
No, unforgivable. This person is such a established fan of Death Grips that if you go on the Death Grips wiki page, this person has their own page on the Death Grips wiki.
Jesus.
They are listed as an official acquaintance of Death Grips. Which is absolutely hilarious.
Well, I feel like it's got to be someone pretty famous. It's not going to be like some shitty UK celebrity, is it? It's not going to be John Tickle, I don't think.
Wow. Well, he's not an actor, so I've already given you
he's
that
not
clue.
An actor. You're right.
Absolutely. Do you have any guesses? I've got some more clues for you, but
do you know? I don't know why, but I want to say Jeff Goldblum.
It's not Jeff Goldblum.
Not Jeff Goldblum.
But I don't know if Jeff Goldblum listens to Death Grips, but I see it, and I see them being friends. That's just something Death Goldblum. Oh my god, it's happening. Okay, that's the collaboration that we've needed.
I feel like that's at least a meme video. Like you can just do like I've seen footage with just like Jeff Goldblum like quotes or something. I feel like that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, but instead of like when he goes, it's just Jeff Goldblum going, oh, you know what I mean?
I like that.
Have you seen Jeff Goldblum's Hot Ones? It's the best Hot Ones of all of them. And at the end, when they ask him to rate all the hot sauces, and he's like, oh, well, 10 out of a potential 10 Goldblums, and just to all of them. Oh my god, that man needs to be wrapped in cotton wool and protected. So like, if any celebrity death would hit me the hardest, it would be Jeff Goldblum, because it would be like all the innocence and all the color and all the happiness.
He's just having so much fun all the time, isn't it?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Literally, and like he's so himself. Do you know what I mean? I don't mean that in a soppy way, but I mean like he's just like
it's a bit good.
It's nice that
he's authentic.
It's nice that the world has accepted him being, authentically Jeff Goldblum. Like, because
he's got his jazz band as well.
I know he releases like actual, and it's so funny because whenever I've seen a video of him like playing the piano, he's doing like the scatting as well, but it's like it's like ironic because it's Jeff Goldblum, so it's like
it's Jeff Goldblum.
Like classic.
He's too hilarious. You can't turn it off. It's not his fault.
Literally, it's very true. Anyway, on with Hollywood stars and celebrities.
Onwards. Yeah, honestly, no clue. Yeah, I'm thinking like famous people. I want to say like Johnny Depp or
no, you can't guess too many people at once. Then we've got more clues. So you've used your guesses for now. You've used Johnny Depp and Jeff Goldblum. It's neither of those people.
Yeah, none of those.
Johnny Depp, I think, is into really like shit, like kind of fucking pop punk or like like your dad rock. I'm pretty sure, but I'd have to look that up. I think.
Danny Brown said that when he was on tour with Run the Jewels, when we went to see them last,
yeah.
on the Netherlands tour for it, Johnny Depp was just backstage doing loads of drugs with them.
That's fucking unbelievable.
And he was just like,
I love that.
What the fuck are you doing here, Johnny Depp? Why are you on tour with me and Run the Jewels? What the fuck?
That's so funny. Johnny Depp was also after he like, I say won. I don't know if he won or like he came out on top of that trial with Amber. He was seen with fucking.
He won in the court of public opinion.
Yeah, but I've seen that start. That's a whole other story that we'll get into another day. But I've seen that start to tilt now. But he was seen with Sam Fender, wasn't he? Which was absolutely the fucking weirdest combo I've ever seen in my entire life. You're not into. You don't know chart music. Sam Fender's like a charting musician at the moment. He's like.
Yeah, no, I was about to say like, who?
He's he does. You know that song that's everywhere. He's like, I was far too scared to hit him. That one, but I would hit him in a heartbeat. Now you don't know it, and no, okay, there we go. Now we're going to get done for copyright infringement.
I really liked it. I like how you thought that was such a good cover of the song that we're going to hit the. We're gonna hit the automatic copyright strikes.
Well, self-belief and all that. But moving swiftly on then. Okay. So this is your music clue number 2. If you need a clue, about the person in general, I'll give you one of them in a bit, but not now. Okay. So as well as Death Grips, the other, I guess, extreme of their music taste is classical music. Ooh. So they've said that I'd never heard of this app before in my life. They said they're an avid user of this. So it's like Tidal, but it's just exclusively for classical music. It's called Adagio. So that's Idagio. Adagio. And apparently,
is that a joke I don't understand? Is for the name of it?
No, I think that's actually a pretentious kind of classical music term, but I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Is it a term I don't understand?
I get you. Is it like a play on words with some music?
But I like how you anyone who's into classical music is pretentious as I sit here judging other people's music taste.
I love classical music, and I'm as pretentious as they come, and there is nothing wrong with that. And when I say pretentious, it's a compliment. So
yes,
fuck everybody else.
In a good way.
But yeah,
is there any particular classical artist mentioned?
No, not particularly. He just said apparently what makes this app really good is that the sound quality is stupid good, and you can just sit there and listen to full symphonies, and sometimes they have videos and stuff as well.
Is this a hashtag app?
No, they said that they bought some really good speakers.
You have to say if it's a hashtag ad.
I have no affiliation with Adagio, nor do I have any affiliation with the actor who enjoys Adagio. Yeah, so
I've got a bit of a question about classical music.
Okay, well, I don't know if I'm the person to answer it, but I'll try my best.
Well, that's fair. Well, it's just an open question, really.
Okay.
So when I think classical music, I think, nice symphonies and, Beethoven and all that shit. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
I've heard of it.
Can I today make a new classical piece of music?
Yeah. It's called It's called neoclassical.
Yeah. Is it do they mix it up a bit, or is it just
typical
brass bands?
Well, yeah, they don't play Beethoven songs; they play new songs.
Okay.
And also in the classical community, we don't say songs; we say compositions.
Sim, I thought you weren't the person to fucking ask about this. But
yeah, well, it turns out I'm the person to ask about everything. So there we go.
What else does he like? Because I'm not scoring any points here.
Well, first of all, what kind of person would listen to both Death Grips and
classical music?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe somebody
a young person. I'm thinking maybe
maybe an actor in some edgy indie films. I don't know, somebody a bit
maybe.
Okay,
maybe it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Well, yes, he is the face of indie films of the moment.
He's always in some film about lesbians. I know him.
Yes, Baywatch. That was.
That was a bit of an indie film. Yeah, might not have caught that one.
Didn't catch on your radar. Okay, well, this is my third and final clue, and it's not so much a clue as just kind of a list of other people that this person's into. So they're very into kind of some classic artists like Van Morrison. They're very into Van Morrison. They like.
Aren't we all?
Well, I'm a huge fan of that album. Do you know Van Morrison much at all? Are you okay?
No, not at all.
Okay, I'm a big Van Morrison fan.
I think I knew 2 songs that I could be
The problem with Van Morrison is I only like very specific Van Morrison. He's got a lot of kind of pop shit like Brown Eyed Girl and Moondance and all that, and that
but you are my Brown Eyed Girl.
Aw, baby. You've got to steer away.
Is that one of his songs?
Brown Eyed Girl, yeah. That's why I said he's got lots of shit like Brown Eyed Girl.
Well, I was just because you said it was like Brown Eyed Girl. I was checking that it wasn't just a cover of Brown Eyed Girl, and it was the Brown Eyed Girl.
It's got a lot of pop shit that is very similar to, but not Brown Eyed Girl.
But not in or discluding Brown Eyed Girl.
No, but then every now and again he's got this mad.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I think what you had to say was more important. I loved it.
Brown Eyed Girl. Gotta watch those copyright strikes.
That's so true. Yeah, nobody's ever said Brown Eyed Girl before. Every so often he's got like a really experimental album. Like he's kind of a pioneer of jazz folk, which is just like all the best genres in one for me. I love that.
It's pronounced yaz.
It's a soft J. Yarging, yes. Yarging. But yeah, classic people like Van Morrison, Neil Young, Curtis Mayfield. And also when he was asked to make a playlist of his favourite songs, he also included a song by a band that I know you love, Kings of Leon. Kings of Leon, yeah. So
was there Sex on Fire? Which Kings of Leon song was it? I
can't remember, and I didn't write it down, but it was from the era before Sex on Fire, where Kings of Leon were actually a good, incredible band.
It was pre Sex on Fire.
Yeah,
okay.
But I know that you're a huge fan of Kings on Leon. You may have met him at the Kings of Leon fan convention. You know, the other year.
I met Leon. He was all right, but
yeah, he wasn't.
He was no king. Do you know what I mean?
That's very true. Like a queen, if anything. Okay, so
are you saying that women are less important than men?
I know I said a queen, if anything, which implies it was more important. So you know what? You can keep trying to throw your casual sexism accusations against me, and I'll keep knocking them out at the park.
I don't know what happened, but I don't think I'm allowed on Twitter anymore.
No, you can say whatever the fuck you want now, and you'll still be allowed on Twitter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I can't. This hasn't given me a clear choice at all.
Okay.
All I'm thinking is some hot young person who's like,
yeah, that's literally that is an apt description of this person, so use that. Yes. I've got a lot of funny things to get into that I can't really reveal until I've said it's a boy. I don't know if I've said that.
It's a boy. I was about to ask for a gender.
Yeah, a man. Okay. So your clue is they were a heartthrob, and they kind of still are a heartthrob, but now they're like a serious actor in lots of good films.
Oh,
I've given it to you there.
Oh, I'm gonna guess Henry Cavill.
Oh, no, not Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill definitely just listens to fucking like game soundtracks, like video game soundtracks.
He probably does the Witcher soundtrack.
Yeah, he's just like, God, this show was shit.
There's this comedian who thought he was dead hot and then found out he likes computer building and playing games. Now he's like, she's like, fucking virgin. I don't want to fuck that guy anymore.
That's so true. Henry Cavill might actually be the most fancied person in the world right now. Like every post I see is like, I saw this TikTok by this girl the other day, and when I say TikTok, it was a TikTok, but it was on Reddit because I don't have TikTok. And she was explaining how women find men attractive is not it's not just on the x-axis. It's not just like a hot or ugly thing. There's lots of other things they have to incorporate, and Henry Cavill apparently ticks every single one of those boxes. Like, he's caring and he's got nerdy interests, do you know what I mean? And obviously he's the most gorgeous man who ever walked the planet.
Yeah, and he just seems so kind and lovable. There's also a rumor that he's got a big old dick.
There is, but also I've heard the flip side of this, that he's actually a bit of a cunt. I've heard that when he was I can't remember the exact ages, but he was 32 and he was in a relationship with an 18 or a 19-year-old, which is a bit weird because I know it's legal, but she's still a child essentially. Also I heard that
it's a bit weird, but
and also, but not just that, I heard somebody who works on the Witcher set said that he was they were thrilled when he left because he was really, really difficult to work with. Because you hear all these these fun stories about him, saying, oh, we should do this, from the books, we should do this, but apparently he'd turn up super duper late every single day. He'd change the script, not just ad-libbing, but change the script completely every minute, and wouldn't talk very much to his co-stars and stuff. So I don't know, obviously I'm just saying, obviously there might be a dark side to Henry Cavill.
Wouldn't it be crazy if America's Sweetheart Henry Cavill, behind closed doors, was then what the fuck was that? It was shit, and just start screaming at people.
It'll be literally mad.
I can't imagine it. He's just so. He's just such.
You know what? I'm going to choose to live in the world where Henry Cavill is, a delight, and I can go on, having, behind closed doors, close my eyes sessions about Henry Cavill.
Yeah, it gives me big John Hamm
I fucking love John Hamm. John Hamm is the greatest man who ever lived, and he was the lead in the greatest show there's ever been. And he was supposed to play Mr. Sinister in the X-Men before that got cancelled as well. And I'm very glad that he didn't, because it would have been shit. Because all the X-Men films.
Okay, well, I'm still on the edge of my seat.
Oh yeah,
here.
of course. Sorry, look at us tangenting.
Not Henry Cavill.
It's not Henry Cavill. Okay, here we go. You ready? It's Robert Pattinson. Ooh.
Robert Pattinson. Oh my god. Yeah, he is a hot young thing. Isn't he? Hot young
and honestly, just like, I fucking love Robert Pattinson.
That's crazy. Death Grips have a Wikipedia section.
Yeah.
Dedicated to Robert Pattinson. Okay, no, wow, he is very involved.
There's more on this, right? Okay, so there's a very, very famous photo, and I'm shocked that you may not have seen it. Maybe you have seen it, but you just couldn't bring it to mind. So,
well, I actually, it's really insensitive for you to bring this up, but I actually have facial blindness. I'm only joke offended there, but I struggle with faces. If someone will hold a picture in front of me, and I'll go like, who's that? And they go like, that's Britney Spears, and I'd be like, oh, you would have thought I knew what she looked like, but apparently I don't.
God,
do you know what I mean?
You seen Britney's Instagram recently? It's mental.
Oh yeah, I mean, actually, I haven't seen it recently. I saw it about a year ago where she was gurning with putting the tree up.
It's just pictures of her tits. It's mental, literally. No, like
that sounds great.
Like they're not even covered up. She's just got like stars over her nipples and stuff. It's literally crazy. But anyway, back to Robert Pattinson.
Sorry, what's her Instagram handle? Britney Spears.
James, this is so weird.
Let's just have a look. See here. Oh yeah, she's really got those nips out, hasn't she?
Well, no, she doesn't have the nips out.
Very
the rest of her breast, but not the nip.
She's looking very drug abusey, isn't she?
She is, but I don't. Yeah, I guess not, me and you are not the people to comment on that at this moment.
My body is a fucking temple, okay?
Okay. Great. I'm thrilled for you.
I don't know much about Robert Pattinson, but what I did really like is when he was doing all of the Twilight like press junket things.
Yeah.
And he just fucking hated everyone in Twilight at that point, and he was just so fucking done with it.
It was so funny. Like, I do want to talk about this photo, but we'll circle back to it. But Twilight, I think Twilight is a good film. There, I said it. I enjoy Twilight, both unironically and it is a masterpiece of ironic meme cinema.
It's quite memey. I also enjoy hate watching it.
Yeah, literally, it is. Like, there's a scene in it where Bella, that's the main woman for anyone who's not a twihard.
Is that what they're called? That's great. I love that.
When Bella walks in and she sees Edward. No, she walks into the classroom and she's supposed to be sitting next to Edward. And in like the Twilight universe, apparently like humans like smell like they're good or something. And there's a scene where she just walks in and he's covering his mouth and he looks like he's about to be sick. And it's just the funniest thing in the world because, like, she stinks. Shit. And he's just like, you need to watch it. I can't explain it. I can't do it justice, but I'm sure every single person who's listening has seen Twilight. And there's the scene I mean, and it's fucking funny.
I have seen it, but it's been too long. I need to rewatch it, to be honest. But
about a year ago, Amy Sands made me watch all of them, and I'd only ever seen the first one. And we watched the first one, and I was like, "This is great. Surely the rest of the films are great as well. There's no way that the other films won't be great." And Jim's small spoiler: they were not great.
Oh my god!
There's literally like one film that they did the Harry Potter thing and split the last two films into. No, they split the last film into two films, and the second to last one, literally nothing happens at all. And then like the ending of the whole thing is like it. They did he woke up and it was all a dream thing. It was such a weird.
It was all a dream. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, because they had the big war, and then it was just like,
wow, nope. You seem to know a lot about Twilight for somebody who hasn't seen all the movies.
I said I saw all the movies.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It was just once a while ago. I have to say I don't remember that much of it.
Yeah, but just some like on Robert Pattinson, like from that he has literally gone on to be in some of like the sickest films I've ever seen in my entire life. Like proper like indie fucking like directors who were just doing their own thing. Like, have you seen Good Time? That is
no.
Oh, it's such a good film.
I haven't seen Batman yet.
You haven't seen Batman? No. Oh my god!
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen him in it.
I love that. There is definitely a Robert Pattinson like extended universe, and Twilight and Batman are connected because like if you were an emo back in the day, you love Twilight, and if you're an emo now, you love the new emo Batman that is Robert Pattinson. Do you know what I mean? And that's coming as like a former fucking emo scene kid, whatever the fuck you want to call me. Straighten my hair, blue red fringe.
Mate, the emos are dead. Just let them die, mate. You're gone. You're a dying breed.
Well, that's jokes on you because that's exactly what the emos want.
F and chat for the emails, please.
Anyway, I must get back to Robert and Death Grips.
I'm staring at this photo.
Are you? Oh my god! So they were at let me do the for people who aren't at it now. They were at a Beyonce gig. Is that the one you've got? Yeah. They were at a Beyonce gig, and apparently like they drank loads of red wine, and he ran backstage to get the wine off his teeth, and he was trying to book an Uber, and like Beyonce's tour manager or something was like, do you want to be in a photo with Beyonce? And he was like, yeah, okay. And then Death Grips were just there, so they were all just in this like lovely wholesome family photo, and it is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. I want to edit our faces onto it, like, or just us in the background of this.
It is a pretty good lad photo, isn't it? Literally. Why would Death Grips just casually backstage at Beyonce's gig? Is they supporting or something? What's that about?
There's some questions that imagine. Oh my god! There's some questions that I don't think will ever be answered.
Vibe difference, isn't it?
That'd be so funny. I don't know. I don't think there's any way we'll ever know. Maybe if this podcast gets really big one day, we can ask them.
We can ask them.
But until then. But anyway,
excuse me, Mr. Death Grip.
It's Mr. Grip to you. Thank you. But like going on just to delve a bit deeper into his relationship with Death Grips. Apparently they were like eating in the same restaurant when they were like many years ago, and he was a big fan already, and he just went over to them, and he notes that Death Grips were eating salad, which he found very funny. Which, you know, I find very funny as well.
I don't picture Death Grips eating salad, I've got to say.
No, I picture them eating like raw red meat. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Literally.
Raw kidney. Like, you know, the scene from Game of Thrones where she eats the horse's heart.
Oh my god.
That is what I expect from Death Grips to be eating.
But yeah, and since then they became really good friends, and there was a time where Robert Pattinson was just playing his guitar for them, you know, as you would if Death Grips were there. Like, I'd play guitar too, actually, you know. And Zach Hill, the drummer, recorded it on his iPhone, and that recording of Robert Pattinson playing guitar is in one of Death Grips' songs. I
love that.
So there's a Death Grips song where Robert Pattinson plays guitar on it.
Is it like, can you audibly tell that the guitar is in the background, or is it like been taken as a noise sample?
No, like it is like it sounds very like it was recorded on an iPhone, but it is
right. Okay,
but it is.
Well, I'm just never shocked because with Death Grips, you know, they do a lot of sounds and, you know, a lot of noise. You know what I mean?
Look at you having listened to Death Grips. You know,
I enjoy one of the music artists we're talking about today. Gasp!
Unbelievable. Do you want to know something absolutely hilarious? Is
of course.
A lot of the
no, I don't want to.
No, this podcast is not a space for hilarious things. This is a place for mundane, sterile information, and that's it. Okay. But there was a website that helped me so much today. I got so much of my Robert Pattinson information off it, and it is called. You ready for this? It's called robsestpattinson.com. And on this website, they have, not only is there a list of every song, artist, and album that our Pats has ever mentioned in public or been pictured with or anything. There's also a book club where there's every book that he's ever mentioned, every live concert he's ever been to. And honestly, like to the point where if I was Robert Pattinson, I'd be like considering my legal options at this point. Do you know what I mean?
Robsessed, addicted and devoted to Robert Pattinson.
Oh my god, you want it now?
I'm on it, yeah. Robert Pattinson visits it. He visited the site.
You visited the site? Shut up. No, wait. Well, you would, wouldn't you? Just, but like not as as to peruse it, just to be like, fucking hell. Like, do I need to get restraining orders? Like, Jesus Christ.
So there's an interview where he talked about how he went to it. Oh, I see. Oh my god. Wow. What a dense lore this man has.
Literally. And he reminds me so much of myself in terms of pretentious music listening. Right, I found this interview from the set of Twilight, actually. talking about like what music they were all listening to, and obviously Twilight soundtrack is like a big deal in it. Everybody was like, "Oh!" So first of all, they were asking everyone what they listened to, and everyone was giving, like, Linkin Park or Muse, and then Robert Pattinson was obviously, he's too well to do for that. He was like, there's this Polish composer known as, and it's obviously nothing like Linkin Park, and then he laughed, which was hilarious. And then Kristen Stewart, his co-star, was like, we've all actually been listening to Van Morrison, and she was like, they became super obsessed with it. Rob will take credit for it, and he'll also resent us all for taking that from him. And I was like, if there is ever a sentence that has described me better, like, is wanting people to listen to what I'm listening to, but then hating them for listening to it. I like, honestly, man after my own heart.
I get that. Yeah.
Literally.
I get that. That's fair.
Literally. That's fair. Oh my God. You know what? I haven't even scratched the surface. There's more. Oh, no. You ready? More? I'm just going to briefly go through it. So apparently before he was going to be an actor, he wanted to be a musician. And he's been through many different phases of like he's a chameleon, I'm going to say. So first of all, this was the funniest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. So he wanted to be a rapper when he was younger. And he said he still kind of does, I'm man after your own heart. I was just about to say, actually, when is 2020 coming out, Jums?
2020, or maybe 2025 at this rate.
So for those not in the know, I'm just going to give a brief description. So my entire time that I've known Jums, well, actually, no, last 8 years or so, Jums has been saying he's going to drop a mixtape called 2020, and it was like 2015 at the time. We were all like, you got plenty of time. And then the years we got slowly closer to 2020, and it would be like 2019. It'd be like, Jums, it's getting pretty close, what are you going to do? And he was like, I got all the time. And then when 2020 actually happened, you had all the fucking time in the world. We were in lockdown, and then 2020 came and went. So it got to 2021, and we were like,
I've just been super busy, and it's kind of like, there was a bit of a pandemic, and I wanted to make sure there'd still be people around to hear my mixtape after I made it. So
that's very true.
I've written a rap.
Wow. Okay.
I'm still trying to find a synonym for cinnamon.
I love that. I love that.
We'll get that.
I love that 2020 doesn't quite have the same thing anymore, because everybody's going to rap about 2020. That's that's probably one of the biggest years going to be in history now. So 2020, it's just like, get over it. We all lived through it. We all saw what was there.
About 2020. Don't be like, I don't want to listen to this COVID shit. Fuck this.
So
I'm back to the drawing board for the name for the mixtape.
My goodness, maybe you can call it 2024, and it can come out next year.
I like Robert Pattinson too.
Yeah, well, anyway, Robert Pattinson wanted to be a rapper, and when he was 13, he made dozens and dozens of tapes, and he went by his rap name. This is absolutely real. He had a crew as well. He was called Big Tub. and when he had his posse around him, he was called Big Tub and the Tabby Cats.
Is this a 13-year-old white kid?
Yeah, and he said that he was apparently rapping about I was raised on the streets, when he was actually raised in a really nice area of London. And apparently
talking about dealers and stuff.
Which is so funny. And he would because he didn't know how to scratch with his records, he would pull the zipper on his hoodie up and down again and again, and apparently it was indistinguishable. Really, so
that's pretty crazy. Do you know, I just went to unzip my hoodie to the mic, but I'm actually wearing a pullover, tragically.
My God, that's mental. I'm wearing, because it's so fucking cold, and this podcast hasn't taken off yet, so I can't afford heating. I'm wearing a very thick jumper. It's like a.
Does it have a zip?
It doesn't. It's it's just the kind of jumper that your nan would knit for you. If we do video,
sounds like a great jumper, but it's not going to help me with this zip. I want to hear a zip.
Wait, I don't have a zip around me. Honestly, I can't.
Well, I'm going to get a zip. Hold on. I'm going to zip.
Do I have to fill this time? I wonder. And then I said, "That's not a cow," and You're not milking. Oh my god. Thank you. I was floundering. Yeah.
You ready for the zip?
You ready?
Okay.
I didn't hear it. Did you do it?
Here's the zip, guys. No, I've done it yet. You ready?
Yeah. Oh my god. That does sound like a record scratch as well, doesn't it? It does. I love that.
Yeah, that worked. It checks out. He's not lying.
That was very good. So are you going to use that as like some of the production on your mixtape? I love that.
And I think we found the first track of 2020.
And then when it gets big, you're going to have some letters from Robert Pattinson's lawyers.
Yeah, I'll stick it in the credit. Yeah,
Pop it in the post.
So I can rip off anyone.
But yeah, so he was a rapper for a little bit. Then he got older, and then he started doing some acousticy, soppy, like singer-songwriter stuff. And it was actually, I had no idea, but 2 of his songs were used on the Twilight soundtrack. And there was a quote from the director about saying something about his voice that was like the funniest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. So there's a bit in Twilight where Bella, spoilers, is dying.
Spoilers. Oh no.
Yeah.
How are they going to get out of that one?
I hope that everybody who hadn't seen Twilight had the reaction time there to pause when I said doing something.
I love that there is someone on the internet who's still saving Twilight for themselves, and any time they listen to something and hear Twilight, they're like, stop!
Yeah, literally.
I'm all right.
We got through it, boys. So yeah, Bella's dying, and the director said this in her commentary. So one of our Pats' tunes is playing over it, and it's like really, melancholic, blah blah blah. And the director said that track plays at the end when Bella's dying. All you hear is Rob's mournful, beautiful voice, and I think that is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Imagine that. Do you know what I mean?
It's not really what you want to hear about your voice, that it's mournful.
Literally,
it sounds like he went to say mournful and then tried to save it with the beautiful.
Yeah, it's funny. He's like talking to the director. He's like, "Well, I actually envisaged this more as like a party anthem, I don't know if I wanted this playing while she's dying."
Those guys got rid of my snares and my kick drum. They got rid of the zip. This track sounds like shit.
Can we talk about this, please? Can we talk? I just don't feel like you understand the vision of what I had here. So that was step 2 of 3 of Robert Pattinson's musical journey. And
but wait,
there's more. So this came while he was doing Batman. I'm just going to read this out. So while he was doing Batman, he said shooting the film was a very strange experience. It was very, very insular, and he was very alone because a lot of the shooting was at night, and he was always in the suit. He couldn't really talk to people. But they gave him a tent on set, just to to entertain himself. And whilst he was
hope it's got a zipper.
Oh my god. I like what you did there. That was a callback to something.
That's a callback.
You know what I mean? That's what the great podcasts do. They call back. Do you know what I mean?
They
call
do.
back to something we did earlier. Love that.
This guy's seen a podcast before.
So while he was on set, he made an entire ambient electronic album because he apparently couldn't read in the Batman suit. So what else are you going to do in your little tent on set? Do you know what I mean? You're going to make an ambient electronic album. And apparently he's not.
I mean, if there's any album you can just pump out whilst barely paying attention to something.
Obviously, no offense to any ambient electronic artists who are listening.
Obviously,
but yeah, literally,
you are the Beethovens of our time.
Literally, apparently, when Brian Eno made. Sorry, that sounded like when he made ambient for the first time. Apparently, he was like, "It's just music for the background," and then you get really pretentious ambient artists who are like, "No, actually, this is do you know what I mean? This is music.
This is my fucking life."
I used to know a guy. I knew him kind of like. This is when I was in a band, he was in another band, so I kind of knew him, and he did ambient music, and the only gig that you can get as an ambient artist is playing. I mean, this isn't true, but the gig that he had was playing in a coffee shop. Do you know what I mean? So he'd go there with his Moog. He had one of those Moog synthesizers. And he'd just sit in the corner, and he'd make the Moog make some nice noises while these hipsters were sitting there drinking their coffee, eating their paninis or whatever the fuck people do in coffee shops.
Honey, I think this place has a lot of ambiance. I gotta say.
I can't put my finger on it. But I must say I love the mood. I mean the mood in this place.
I see what you did there.
So yeah, that's the history of Robert Pattinson's musical journey. He was also not married. He was engaged to FKA Twigs. Do you know FKA Twigs?
Yeah, that rings a bell with me.
Yeah, they were engaged for a while. She also went out with Shia LaBeouf, and she is actually the woman who came forward, that led to Shia LaBeouf's cancellation. Not so fun fact there, but like
I don't think I was made aware of that one. I didn't know Shia LaBeouf got cancelled. What did Shia do?
Oh, I can't remember, but it was
it's pretty bad. Was it bad?
I don't know, like it's all bad. So like I can't make like a tier list of people who have been cancelled. Yeah. But
I mean that's fair. But if we were to make a tier list of people who've been cancelled, I think Louis CK is number one of that tier list.
I feel like he's done pretty good at becoming uncancelled now. He's like Claude.
Yeah, he won a Grammy. Like he's not cancelled anymore.
No. Do you know who's done the best at climbing their way out of the cancellation pit, which is what I call it now? Is Lea Michele. Fucking Lea Michele.
Oh really? She got out there. Shit.
No, she's like.
She did.
Are you serious? Are you actually serious? Yeah. She's the lead and funny girl on Broadway. You know that. You know that. Shut up.
I think you.
I told you that because it was the biggest moment of my life. Like because that's what happened in Glee as well, isn't it?
That's what happened in Glee.
Life imitates art.
I just find it so weird that after all that came forward from like the Glee cast that they were like,
well, she didn't attack anybody. It was like it was all verbal, wasn't it? I think, but it was like racist though, which is obviously the worst possible thing. So yeah, it was terrible. But like I say she's uncancelled, everyone still takes the piss out of her. And have you heard that conspiracy that she can't read?
No, but I love the conspiracy.
No, and it's so funny. Amy was showing me her TikToks the other day, and everyone this is honestly the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, they all comment, they leave a comment on it, and then in brackets they put like the emoji equivalent of what they said, so that because Lea Michele can't read the comments, so at least she can read the emojis.
That's very funny.
So
I
funny.
do like people taking the piss out of celebrities on their social media. Garth Brooks is
Garth Brooks, the country singer.
Yes.
Yeah, he has a social media. He doesn't seem like a kind of guy. Speaking as somebody who knows Garth Brooks very well, yeah.
He does have a social media, and all of his comments are asking him where the bodies are buried.
That is
like literally 90% of them are just random shit from Your Mom's House podcast. It's very funny, very funny. And like he knows about it because it is like 1 in 2 comments. It's
really?
like where are the...
That's absolutely hilarious. But where are the bodies? Has he acknowledged it?
He's not commented on the bodies, no. But there was one, and they panned in on like a show, and someone had a sign saying, "I love you, Garth," and then they removed the sign to just say where the body's at.
That's hilarious. Oh, poor Garth. He just wants to play his country songs. God. He just wants to be like, "I want to take my
just
horse."
Don't get it. Well, that's not very kind, y'all. That's how I imagine Garth Brooks sounds.
But go on, so I want you to, now we're at the end of it, I want you to rate Robert Pattinson and his music taste and his music ventures. And I don't want it out of 10. I want like a word. I want, or a phrase. How do you feel now that you know all of this information?
I feel enlightened.
Wow. Yep.
I feel like he has some good music taste, which I think good is a good word.
Good is it's a great word. I'd even call it a great
however,
word.
He sounds a bit like a pretentious dickhead.
Yeah, and, I wouldn't know anything about it. That's probably why I think he's got such great taste. Everybody else thinks he's a pretentious dickhead. Do you know what I mean? That's what everybody else thinks of me. So
yeah, it's close to home. This episode, isn't it?
Yeah,
but it's pretty good. I mean, I've not heard any,
not as good as
the Brown-Eyed Girl.
Not as good as David Cameron's music taste. Do you know, if you had to do a tier list of the 2 people that we've done so far.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I think David Cameron would be in like a
league of his own, like entirely.
Yeah, and I haven't seen A League of His Own. It's a good show.
Oh, I haven't either, but I did think that when I said that. I was like, that's a weird thing to say. Like, there's a TV show about that. I wonder.
Is this a hashtag ad? Yeah, I put David Cameron's in like an F. And yeah, I'd probably put.
I'd put Robert Pattinson in A. I'd give him an A tier.
Yeah,
I'd give
him an A. Maybe I'd put him to like on the border of A and B because he sounds a bit pretentious.
What would it take for?
He sounds a bit gatekeepy, and do you know what? Just fuck all of those gatekeepers in the world.
Well, to be fair to him, when he was being gatekeepy about Van Morrison, he was like, how old was he in Twilight? He was like, I don't know, like 10 years old or something. Do you know what I mean? Fun fact about that movie that you may not know is that they had to spray his abs on for all the shirtless scenes in that film. Did you know that?
Wow, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, which is so funny.
Was Bella in Twilight his brown-eyed girl?
So that's all we've got time for today on Plum Chutney. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for joining us, people. Yeah. We will see you next week at the same bat time.
That same bat chat. I love that. That was great. I hope
yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Goodbye.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.